Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome to Indie Life Adventures, where we're going to talk about day 4 of our Costa Rica vacation.
Adventure. And funny enough, we're actually joining you here from Monteverde, and we just arrived and just checked into our hostel, but we are backtracking in the videos a bit, so we are going to be talking to you guys about our 4th day in Costa Rica, which is also our first day in La Fortuna.
Indeed it is. I'm really excited to hear what you want to tell our audience about your day 1 in La Fortuna.
So it was very packed, I'd say, but it didn't feel overly packed at all, but we did 3 main events.
All right, and what were those?
The first thing we did is that we went on a sloth tour. The idea, courtesy of Mom, because originally we were going to go to the hot springs first thing in the morning.
Yes.
But I slept in a little bit, and by the time I woke up around 8:30, it was very hot outside.
It was. I don't know exactly what the temperature was, but it was not the type of temperature that makes you want to submerge in 100-degree water.
So instead, we went to the Bogarin Trail.
Yes.
And we had a guided tour, and it was really incredible.
It was, and I definitely learned my lesson from the last time I was here 3 years ago. Nick and I went to the Bogarin Trail, and I can link to the video where we kind of describe that experience. And we did not get the guided tour and had a less than stellar experience. But with the guide, when Tessa and I went, it was phenomenal. It was a whole different experience. So I highly recommend to get the guide.
It was 45,000 colones.
Yes.
And it is a 1.5 hour guide thing.
Mm-hmm.
Our guide was named Jason. He was very good. We saw 6 sloths.
Yes, and a baby sloth.
Yes.
The first one was a mama and her baby.
Yes, they were all ladies.
Oh yeah, we never saw a single man.
No, we did see the single ladies, and then we saw
the single ladies.
some mamas with their babies.
Yes. Now, I personally don't know how to tell the difference between a male and a female sloth. I'm sure there's some easy ways to tell, but we did not see those parts. Jason clued us in.
We saw mostly 3-fingered and maybe 1 2-fingered.
2-toed sloth. Yes, the majority were the 3-toed sloth, and Jason really pinpointed all the 3-toed sloths like the same tree. It's a trumpet tree, and now that he's told us that, it's like every trumpet tree I'm looking to see, is there a sloth in there? But it definitely makes it easier to feel like you can find a sloth when you know which tree type they'll be in.
We also saw the world's most beautiful frog.
Oh yeah, Jason prefaced it with saying, I'm going to show you the world's most beautiful frog.
It was a red-eyed tree frog.
I was totally skeptical. It's like, the beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Just because he thinks it's the world's most beautiful frog does not mean I'm going to think it's the world's most beautiful frog.
We both did think it was the world's most beautiful frog.
It is the world's most beautiful frog, hands down. I feel like, yes, we have in fact seen the world's most beautiful frog.
And it was a great adventure.
And the eggs, the frog eggs on the back of the leaf.
Eggs.
First off, I've also realized that I am kind of an idiot because Tessa's in the midst of looking at the frog eggs in real life. And I had just had a picture on my phone where I zoomed in. It was actually a video. So I videoed the frog eggs and zoomed in, and I was trying to get her to
Mom
quit.
was like, look how good this video is. Look how good you can see them moving. While I'm trying to get me to look at the video while I'm like looking with my eyeballs.
At the eggs. Oh, in hindsight, I'm like, what kind of idiot am I to try to get you to look at my video on the phone rather than look at the actual...
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
You were just proud of your video.
I was excited. I was thinking I could zoom in more than your eyeballs could.
No, eyeballs are very good.
Yeah. But it was so cool just to see the... are they called embryos? I'm not sure what you call the inside of a frog egg, but you could see like the tiny little...
ultrasound.
the ultrasound, the tiny little tadpoles wiggling in there. It was super cool.
Okay, so any other thoughts on the Bogarin Trail?
I just loved it. And it ends up that when we bought our admission price for the tour, it allowed us to get in the very next day on our own all day at no extra cost. So that just opened the possibilities up for day 5 if we wanted to come back. Which, spoiler alert, we did want to go back.
You'll have to catch the next video to hear more about that.
Yes.
The second event that we did was...
You've done so many events, you can't keep them straight, can you?
No, I can't.
It was the waterfall.
So it's a waterfall.
Yes.
We went to the La Fortuna waterfall.
Now keep in mind, we had already pre-purchased our day pass for the hot springs. And so we were really trying to figure out how to get the most from our day pass at the hot springs, which was good from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m., but also use the heat of the day to have some other experiences. So the plan we ended up coming up with was to do the Bogarin Trail first, then go to the La Fortuna waterfall, and then after swimming in the cold water at the base of the waterfall, head to the hot springs to wrap up the day.
So the waterfall was $20 per person, and the waterfall was cool and all, but it was not the best experience we had there.
Well, that is in the eye of the beholder as well. There was an unexpected experience that occurred before we even saw the waterfall. And for those of you who've been to the La Fortuna waterfall, like the moment you enter, you just walk and then there's this overview where you can see the waterfall. Before we even got to the overlook, what happened?
Well, we saw a few people looking up in the trees and taking photos and decided to see what that was all about. And there were monkeys in the trees.
There were monkeys, and we're like trying to see them. And while we were starting to look, one leapt from one tree to another, and I'm pretty sure I let out a squeal.
They were not that far away from us.
No.
They were pretty close. And yeah, I was wishing we still had our tour guide with us from the other trail so that we could see them really good through the scope, but
yeah,
we could see them pretty well with our eyes, and it was really cool.
And we lingered quite a while. I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 minutes just watching these monkeys. I'm guessing there were maybe 8 or 10, but the best one of all was the mama with the little tiny baby on her back. And it was just remarkable. And they were howler monkeys, but they weren't making their howler sounds. They were just going to town eating this tree, like devouring the leaves and jumping around. It was really unexpected and super cool, because I was thinking, since we didn't go to the beach this trip, I didn't think Tessa would get to see monkeys, because in my past trips I'd seen the monkeys near the beach. But the universe worked out for us and delivered her not only sloths, but then monkeys all in the same day.
It was a very good day.
It was a phenomenal day.
Okay, so one thing I'll say again about the sloths is that he was telling us all this information and telling us they sleep 20 hours a day, but all of the ones that we had seen were awake.
Yes.
And I asked him about it, and he was like, it's just a good time. And I was like, oh, this is when they're awake?
Because we were there like in the heat of the day, like 11,
He's
12.
like, no, the opposite. It's just you guys are lucky. Like, the universe is being that kind to you guys.
Yes.
And then clearly the universe was being kind to us because of then the monkeys.
Yes. It's like, Tessa's on vacation, let's deliver her everything she wants.
Wow. I'm very thrilled.
Yeah, it was great.
Yes, it was great. And so we hiked down to the waterfall. I got in
Tessa,
water.
being the daring one, never hesitates to take on a new challenge. And you can swim at the base of the La Fortuna waterfall, but it is a very powerful waterfall, so you don't go near where the water is hitting, but there's still room around it to be able to get in and swim. And in my past visits, I have not wanted to get in and swim because it is cold. But Tessa, ever the daring daughter, jumped right in. She didn't hesitate, and she also made it very clear that I would be joining her. And so I channeled her adventuresome spirit, and anyone who knows me knows that I do not like cold water. But it honestly, once you just got in there, it was okay. It was fine. It was not at all miserable, and it was exhilarating and fun, and I'm very happy we went for a swim.
I agree. We played in the creek for a little bit, but then we went back up the stairs, and we really weren't even there for that long.
Yeah, by the time we walked down, swam around, and then hiked the, how many steps?
1,000.
1,000-ish. It was quite a hike to get back out. We had done it in 55 minutes. And I felt we were not rushed. We saw everything we wanted to see with a bonus of all the monkeys, and that left us with plenty of time to then go enjoy the hot springs.
Yes.
Yes, because we chose Los Lagos Hot Springs as the resort of choice. There's so many to choose from, but we did rely on our hostel representative's advice, and she had told us that that one is a very well priced, and you get a lot for your money. And it really was remarkable. For $30 each, we got to experience 8 different hot springs. And keep in mind, these are natural hot springs heated from the volcano, and it includes minerals. And we had been so active up until now, it felt very good just to soak and enjoy the thermal baths.
It did feel very good. We got some cocktails.
We did. We had quite a few cocktails.
Quite a few, and as one would expect.
At the swim up bar.
And we ordered, what is it called?
Focaccia bread?
Something like that. And it was basically a pizza.
It was basically a pizza. I was not sure what to expect. The menu, it just looked really good. It said focaccia bread and had all these Mediterranean toppings, and then there was another focaccia bread that had smoked salmon and capers and balsamic vinegar, and they both sounded so good. And since they were only $6 each, I assumed they can't be very big then. We're at a swim-up bar. Certainly you're not getting deals on food and drinks at a swim-up bar in a hot springs resort. So we just got both of them. They were the size of a large pizza.
Yes, they were. And we devoured them.
We ate the whole thing. They were delicious.
They were very delicious.
Yes. Yeah, it was like a thin crust pizza.
Yeah,
Delicious.
I would definitely recommend getting the focaccia.
And Tessa has been, because of course she's not legal drinking age in the United States, so I'm sure you've never had alcohol before.
I haven't.
Never. And so here she is experimenting with trying to find. So I imagine the video is shaking a lot. It's because it's quite windy. So hopefully this.
And I think it is cattywampus.
Cattywampus. Well,
yeah.
We're working with what we're working with.
Yeah. What are you gonna do about it?
I know. We're gonna roll with it.
Yeah.
Pura vida. So she has been experimenting with trying the different cocktails. What all have you tried so far? And then we can hone in on what you ended up discovering that you liked there at the swim up bar.
Okay. Pina colada. We got, what else did...
You've tried a margarita.
A margarita, a mojito.
A mojito. You tried a whiskey sour that you did not like at all.
No, you told me I would like it, but you were thinking
I was
of
thinking
something
amaretto
else.
sour.
Yeah.
But it was a whiskey sour and she didn't care for it.
No.
But the one drink, do you remember what it was called that you actually liked quite a bit?
It was sake and lemon.
Oh, no, that wasn't the one I was talking about.
Really
That's the one you
good.
had in San Jose, which has been your favorite so far.
Yeah.
But at the swim up bar, she tried a caipirinha.
Ah,
Yes. And so she really liked the
Delicious.
caipirinhas.
yes, I do.
Yeah. And that's what I loved about Los Lagos is it had all the amenities of a very nice hot springs resort, but the drink and food prices were very reasonable. Like we had as many drinks as we wanted and as much food as we wanted, and our bill for that after staying there for like 4.5 hours was $44. Extremely affordable. When you couple that with the price to get in, that was just $104, and in the US you can spend that on a dinner easy. So it was extremely affordable, well worth it, and I think we maximized that experience.
I would honestly say that about the entire day. We maximize the experience. And I would recommend everything.
Yeah. Yeah, between the Bogarin Trail, La Fortuna Waterfall, Los
Especially
Lagos
if
Hot
there's
Springs.
monkeys at the waterfall. That really
Which, of
made
course, we can't control, but
if we could,
it's the
there would
icing on the
always be.
cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was a very delightful day, and we just had some deep conversations in the hot springs.
We did.
If you're with someone who you like talking to, then go talk in some hot springs.
Yeah. The conversation flowed along with the pina coladas and the caipirinhas. Now, the one thing that we haven't touched on yet for this recap of our first night in La Fortuna is the hostel we chose. We chose the Santa Fe hostel. What did you think of that?
I liked it a lot.
Yes?
Yes, I would say I liked it the most so far out of, at this point, the two that we had stayed in.
Yes.
It was more hostel-like.
In what way?
There was a community kitchen. You could bring in food and drinks. You could put it in the fridge. Like the first one, the Social Tel, no food and drinks. You order from a bar, which was, nice in its own ways. But to get the hostel experience, I did enjoy the Santa Fe hostel. Our guide, Claudia, was very nice.
Yeah.
And I didn't really mind at all other people being in our room.
Yes, because that's another part of really getting the hostel experience. Our room had 3 triple bunk beds, and it was co-ed. So we did, at one point there were 5 people in the room. We're all sharing space, sharing the same restroom facility. So I do felt like we got the true hostel experience, and it was a lot of fun. I didn't mind it at all. It's like you had to be mindful, especially in the mornings, with making sure you were prepared with what you needed to exit the room, because you didn't want to turn on the lights while everybody was sleeping. Mm-hmm. So it took some forethought, but hell, for $11 per person per night.
Yeah.
What a deal.
Yeah.
Like, it was fun, affordable, and honestly, I'm really liking the hostel experience. So I'm really,
have been really good.
glad you made that choice for us to try it this way.
Thank you. One other thing I'll say about the Santa Fe hostel is that we weren't there a whole bunch. We didn't really socialize.
Right. We were on the go. It was like we'd wake up, grab our gear, and go.
We'd
then when
come back,
yeah,
change, pack again, and go.
Yes. We didn't linger around the hostel much.
We would come pretty much to sleep and to hold our stuff.
Exactly.
And so we didn't really socialize with the other people, but it was an opportunity for us. Like, if we wanted to chill more at the hostel, it would have been, I think, a good experience.
I agree. It all depends on how much time you have in a place. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to make the most of La Fortuna because there was so much to see and do. So no, we didn't linger around the common space very much, but it worked perfectly for what we were looking for.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Any concluding thoughts to wrap up your day 1 in La Fortuna?
Day 1 in La Fortuna was a brilliant, amazing, and magnificent day.
I don't think it could have been better.
I think it was perfect.
It was a perfect day. Yes. And on that note, we'll conclude this episode. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to hear about day 2 and day 3 in La Fortuna.